Today I want to talk about what now. So, reflecting on this last year almost now of not being in the classroom, and what am I going to do? How is it going to shape up for next year? So, I've been really busy with outside work, as we all are at this time of the year. I also hurt my shoulder and back pretty bad after my last video. I don't even know exactly what did it, but it was probably trying to move the garden boxes that I built. Anyway, I'd love to do an update on what things look like outside now and what I've been working on. If for anybody's who's interested, it's a really rainy day out today, which is great because I think I kind of needed a break from being outside. Yesterday, I think I was out there from about 8:15 in the morning till almost 4 in the afternoon. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was completely filthy, just sweaty, full of dirt. And I was like, I love it. I mean, it was great to have a shower after. But anyway, back to the topic. So you'll see behind me, these are some beautiful roses, 24 roses that I got from my former students recently when I went to the graduation at the school I used to teach at. And it was a few hours drive. And so they were very kind to honor my past teaching there, and to, I guess, honor the fact that I drove a long ways to get there. But it was definitely not necessary, and yet really appreciated. So I've had to thin them out a little bit because, as they start to die off a bit. So if anyone has tips on how to keep your roses looking great for a long time, I've tried a few things, and I just wanted to have them there as a reminder, and so you could see how beautiful they are. So what now? I'm reflecting on why I'm not teaching. So in the last year, especially with, financial stresses and just kind of feeling like I'm losing a bit of that identity, and people constantly asking, what are you doing? I keep thinking, when a teaching job comes up, oh, I should just take that. I should apply here or there. And it's really tempting to look into teaching jobs. So I've had to kind of reflect on the joys and the sorrows and the reason why I don't feel led to jump back into the classroom, at least not right now. So it's been about a year, and I went to this grad, and it was so refreshing. It was so beautiful. And I love, the families represented there. I love the students. And it was so amazing to see some of my former students that I taught all the way, from grade 7 up to, grade 10 or 11, and just share in their joy, and see former fellow teachers, and just, it was really special. I'm getting kind of choked up just talking about it. So it was very heartwarming and poignant and nostalgic. And I love teaching in the classroom for so many reasons. And especially love teaching at that school. The school culture there is so healthy. And the staff, I overheard them talking at the grad, some of the staff talking about how the fire alarm had actually, or some kind of alarm, had actually gone off because the staff were laughing so loud in the classroom. And I just thought, that's how it is. Just real camaraderie, real support, real cheering each other on. Very much, just community minded as a school, and such a wonderful place. So I'm so happy I got to work there, and I love teaching in the classroom, but it was hard for me. And when I reflect on it, one of the reasons it was really hard was because of the type of person that I am. I don't shut off. I don't turn off. I'm always on. And if you don't understand that, I totally get it, but just kind of imagine. So when I'm in the classroom, no matter what I'm doing and no matter what the students, are doing, they could be sitting there quietly at their desks. I'm maybe sitting quietly at my desk, catching up on some marking or planning something. And even in those times, I'm completely attuned and completely on. I notice everything going on in the room. And I think that like constant attention that I'm just not able to turn off, not able to really relax into, and kind of shut down for a bit. I think over the course of years, it just took a toll on me, and eventually, I just found myself struggling. So there's that, and also the perfectionist mindset. I'm very perfectionistic about the lessons that I plan. I want them to be accessible for everyone. I want them to really nail the content. I want them to be interesting for students to do. So I have a really high level of, I think about my lessons a lot. And so it just all, got, I think, heavy, dealing with kind of heavy things at home over those years with my own teenagers, young adults now, and carrying the weight of a lot of things I was also going through in my ministry and volunteer life at the church that we went to. There was a lot of heaviness that I was carrying around, and so school was almost like a break in some ways, like for my mind, because my mind could stop ruminating about all these other things, and I had to just focus on what was before me, on the lesson that needed to be taught, on marking the essays or speaking with a student. And so I love teaching. And last year, I became very aware of how much schools have changed. So last year, I taught pretty much full-time in a local school close to me, and a school that I know very well and have taught in before, from 2008 to 2012, and had I also taught a year of preschool there. So anyway, I have a lot of history with this school. I originally graduated from the school like years and years ago as well. So you would think that it would, but anyway, things have changed, okay? Suffice to say. And I realized that it wasn't me. It wasn't something that I could sustainably participate in the way that things are going. And a lot of teachers are talking about this right now. A lot of teachers are resigning, changing jobs, even teachers who have just taught for a couple of years or up to, 30 years. There's a lot of buzz about schools, and you've probably heard that about how students have changed, especially since COVID, about how teaching has changed. And yes, a lot of teaching has gotten to the point where you are basically babysitting these students' computer use, their screen time. And I'm not against curriculum being online, lessons being online. I mean, I spent this past year developing lessons for high school students online, like purely online. But when your school day as a teacher is spent just feeling like you're interrupting students' screen time all day, and they might give you their attention for a short time, but you know that they just can't wait to get back to their screens. And everything that you can do to like get those screens on in front of them, that's the only thing they care about. And getting through their work as fast as they can so they can do something else, be allowed to do something else on their screen. So for example, last year I had my computer that I brought in, and I was with GoGuardian, this program that you can see what students are doing on their computers. I was supposed to be monitoring each student's computer for what they were doing while I was teaching from my own computer. So I'm constantly, jumping back and forth between these screens. And I was like, I really miss just teaching a lesson, interacting with students, having discussion. And as much as I tried to make that happen, I could see that it was just going to get worse from there. I did have a wonderful class of older high school students that I taught English to, and we decided together as a class to take almost everything offline, and it was wonderful. We did a lot of posters and note taking and just creative projects and reading aloud and just kind of took everything off the computer except for what they really wanted to do. And so that was awesome. And I'd love to, like, if that was what the future was, I would totally do that. But this other, I can't do it. I don't want to feel like I am, just babysitting students' computer use all day, not really teaching. And I had little autonomy to fix the problems that were there. So, teachers have a rough go in general. And so anyway, all that to say, reflecting on this, beautiful bouquet of roses and the wonderful students and the wonderful school that I got to be part of for 6 years, and comparing it to what I could see as the future, I just realized I can't go into that again. There's just so many reasons. So what now? So if I'm not going back into the classroom, what now? And I thought, through this year, it went so fast. It's June. So this time last year, I was just finishing up. I think I did a video last year, kind of saying goodbye to the classroom and reflecting on some things that I had found there on the shelves. And it was about a year ago. And so what has happened in this past year? Well, I did teach a few piano lessons, kind of as favors for people and a little bit of family. And I struggled with it a little bit, but I found that I really enjoyed interacting with students, especially on a one-on-one basis where you can really get to know them. I do love music. I miss playing, the piano and singing. And it's a way for me to kind of get back into music again. So I decided that I would take on some students this coming year. So that's going to happen. And I'll let you know, how that works out. There's going to be pros and cons, no surprise. I want to keep doing creative things. So I want to keep making videos. And this one's getting kind of long, but I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up in a minute. But what my problem is I always have so many things I want to say. And so I get kind of stuck deciding, what am I going to talk about? I have like 10 or 12, 50 different ideas and things I really want to say. And then I think I also have a blog. So sometimes I write the things out that I want to talk about. So I want to keep pursuing some creative things and maybe step that up a bit. Try and challenge myself to do a video every few days and write a blog every few days instead of periodically. And and I'm asking God what I should do next. Because one thing you realize, as you know, if you're middle-aged like me or older, is as you get older, you have less and less inclination to spend time on things that you don't value. So what is it that I value? What can I say yes to? And so filtering it through that of what my values are, what I care about, what God has called me to, really helps me to make better decisions. And I'm still working on that. So I still say yes too easily. And sometimes the person that I'm constantly letting down is myself. So I'm learning to let others down once in a while so that I can be there for myself. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will try and post more videos and not worry so much about exactly what they look like or if I'm in the right mood and all those things. Just do it. Just be authentic and just do it. And I'll try and catch you up on my garden boxes and how things are starting to look outside as well. So thanks. Hit the like if you want and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And yeah, I'll keep you posted.